We're live.
Okay, we're live. Okay, this has to, don't forget to remind me to turn on that mic. Do you think we need batteries?
I just put some last time.
Oh, you did? Okay, so it should be good.
I'm gonna turn it up.
No, so but don't forget.
Oh, wow.
No, I'll remember when I go to this.
I see they say, God, we say, hey, remember tomorrow to do this and that, right? That way, if I say yes, then it's my fault if she forgets.
Well, that's why it's easy.
But I know, so I know the
Why do you
15
think-
girls play, so I'm like, no, sorry. Remind me, no.
Thank you.
My only participation really is in the closed session,
Oh, okay.
unless he asks us to chime in on the. He might ask us to chime in on 7A and 7B. Sir? Good morning, indeed. You want to join us? Yeah.
Marshall. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's up, Jerry?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Are you sick?
I always have like allergies and congestion.
Well, I'll do what I can to keep my mouth
Okay.
shut. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
But it's this year-round stuff I have.
I still can't get my. Stephanie's gonna be livid. Hey, Mark, did that? Hey, did that guy give Lexi a hard time? Nicole's application to John?
Is there another delay tomorrow or no? So that's the order, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, thanks.
Assigned.
Is she on or not?
May I ask you to sign this, please?
Yeah, make sure it's not facing up when my socials right in front.
I'm sorry.
It was facing up, so
Yeah.
I put it down. That's my socials. No, it's not fine. My socials right there.
I'm sorry.
Right there. Right here, right here.
I didn't even mean to find me having a record find out which one to do.
Yeah. No, okay, with her. No, hold it. Okey dokey. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. No, I got it. Mhm. How are you? All right. How are you? Good, how are you? Good. Cold and freezing. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Oh, I'm good. Hi, Michael. How are you? Marshall. Good, I'm good. Thank you. A couple of words. Hey, Jerry.
Hello.
How are you?
Cold.
I know.
Been cold all days.
I know. I got chilled. I couldn't get warm there for a while.
Yeah, my hands, my feet.
My feet. Let's see, what's today's? It's today.
Yeah, they were out there all day today, and it was clear. But
Let's see.
in the afternoon,
What's the deal with your job?
I have a meeting on Wednesday,
You're still there?
so I should find out something.
Let's see. Looking for my telephone. Put it on silent.
How are you?
Hello, Lorenzo. Good, good. Are you frozen?
I am frozen.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Are you freezing?
I am.
You guys made that situation.
On Highway 28, we had it fixed.
Oh, good, so I was gonna bring that. I was thinking about you, this why I didn't go walking because it was so cold.
It was cold.
And then I got, yes.
What was the?
I should have gotten up and quickly made you guys hot chocolate or something.
I think,
What was the problem?
the pumps out on Highway 28, the storm
So they
pumps,
keep it clean.
they failed,
Oh.
Mhm, so that's why we accumulated.
Hi, Veronica.
Yeah, over the weekend. Monday? Yeah, and then it's
Oh, that's good.
between us.
Good evening, good evening.
With the deal, so, yeah, you know how that goes.
Did you see this? You guys kept calling?
No, was it part of the packet?
No, I asked for a copy of it. So we're going for these top three
I
in
can't
Santa
really
Fe?
read it. Okay. These are the top three?
Where did you see?
You were coming down Belts and I was going that way. You were going up Belts and I was coming home.
Hi, Mayor.
I was like, she's going to Sonic. I was like, I'm going to tell her.
Except for next year, right?
No, this year. This is the first
Fiscal
week.
year, fiscal year, that's right.
Yeah, so we're going up to
Everybody
Santa
got
Fe.
that?
Food, sewage and drainage and all that crap.
Also, these are in priority.
Hi. Are you?
And really like those smoking
Chief is only.
Okay. Hi there, how are you? Okay.
Más o menos.
I guess it's a good thing, is that at least you know that. I will look at
My mom's gonna be there. I got you. You should just keep it. I wouldn't. She has.
Different having you over here.
They already did.
See if I mess up tonight.
You know, like we're trying to get money. Yeah. She let. She had.
No, it's got to be the pole if I do anything.
So I transferred that to.
The full corner.
I just want to CJ, but I'm CJ, but I'm.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening, Monday, January 26th, 2026. The time is now 6 o'clock in the evening. We are here at the Mesilla Town Hall for our regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meeting. The first item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next order of business is roll call.
Mayor Hernandez,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem here. Here. Trustee Cadena. Trustee Garcia. Here. Trustee Nevares.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Next item on the agenda is changes approval of the agenda.
Moved.
Or by Mayor Pro Tem. Is there any discussion? Which one is it? Is it me? Sometimes it is. So thank you for approval of the agenda as it has been presented. Next item on the agenda is public input on the cases to be heard this evening. This is where we allow the public to give input on the cases to be heard. If there's input, please step to the podium and state your name for the record. Okay, so there is no input.
Could I ask, I just have a couple of comments. It's not really on any cases, but just some comments.
Then that'll be at the end when we open it back up on item number 8 for public input on other matters.
Mary Lucero. Am I supposed to say my address? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I just have a question on for the consent agenda. I was wondering, because I was reading through it today, and I noticed that on when people talk, it doesn't say what they say. Is there a reason for that? Because I know in ours we do. And I would just like to know why it's not on there. Because if you're going to approve it, it should have all the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucero. Is there any other public input on the cases being heard this evening? Seeing as there is none, we'll move forward to the next agenda item, which is approval of the consent agenda, which does include the BOT meeting minutes for January 12th, 2025. And there is an amendment that does need to be made on the minutes, and that is on page 4, where the second motion down is a motion to approve versus postpone for the PZHAC appointment of Eric Walkinshaw. The roll call on that is also misrecorded because it does need to read Trustee Johnson Burek as no, and then I voted yes as a tiebreaker in that one. And then the next one down for the appointment and approval in the minutes for PZHAC member Eric Gallegos. It was actually Trustee Garcia that voted yes, so that was misrecorded, and Trustee Johnson Burek that voted no. And those are noted amendments to the minutes. Are there any other changes?
I have a question on the minutes. Why aren't our comments on here? I know you told me something about the Molly class and how you want them and stuff. Why aren't they on there?
This is the basic information that's required in order to get the minutes posted and to have that information. All of the meetings are fully available online, so they can be reviewed and
But
done.
if we go to court, do we go to court with this that we're approving, or what on the YouTube? Because we're not approving on the YouTube, we're approving the minutes. So when we go to court, what are we going to court with?
This is everything that's there, and everything else can be approved. We have that documentation. And our attorney is here as well, if you would like him to answer any questions on that.
Because if we approve the minutes, this is the only thing. I've been challenged before, that's why I'm asking. So when we approve the minutes here, and if we go to court, what do you take to court with you?
Mayor, board, the minutes are a summary of what has gone on. It's not required to be we don't have a court reporter sitting here stenographically transcribing everything that's said. That should be in your packet as far as what the minutes that you receive, and that's in the packet from the previous meeting, and that's what you're approving.
Doesn't say what we said on our minutes. It just says comments.
On the agenda?
Yeah, it just says like on our packet, it'll just say Trustee Garcia comment, that's it.
Well, those are your comments. So that there's no action that's been taken. That's not part of the official business of the board. And so that's not.
It kind of summarize what we said.
But those are available in the recordings that the town maintains either through
But is that
YouTube.
legit to go to court with? If we're not
Yes.
approving it?
Yes, because what you're approving are the summary of the meeting that occurred. That's what
We're not
minutes are.
summarizing, no anything.
That's,
So we're not approving any summary points.
the minutes summarize the official activities, the official acts of the governing body. That's what the requirement is under the OMA.
Correct. And as it's noted and what the legal team is saying is just as it is here in the minutes, you have the motion, which is the action that is in there, and then you have the roll call. That's what's required and the legal action for the board.
That's correct.
That's what legal is telling you right now.
Well, can we summarize our minutes and what we commented in there? I'm just saying, because I've been challenged before, we've been to court with this before. And when we went to court and I mentioned something, they were like, we don't have any proof that you said that because it wasn't documented. It's been challenged before.
Well, that's where, again, you obtain the recording and you use the recording, because otherwise what you end up as well, this situation is if you have a summary, let's say you have a comment and the summary in the minute is Trustee Garcia said one sentence about, maybe you took 5 minutes to comment something. Right. And there's only one sentence in there. And so then the response would be, is that all you said? So you would say, no, I said a lot more. Well, where can we get that? You get that from the recording. And that's what you go and use in the court proceedings to show one way or the other what has been said.
Okay. But we were taught that you get rid of recordings after we've been approved.
Everything's available online.
Okay, all right.
So
Anything further, Mayor?
maybe that's the previous practice, but we keep everything.
It's not a legal document, that's all. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Any other amendments to the agenda or questions? Or not to the agenda, to the minutes. Sorry. Okay.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, we need a motion.
So moved. Amendments.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Nevada, seconded by Trustee Cadena. Any further discussion? Didn't realize we didn't have that. Here we go. Seeing as there is no further discussion with the motion to approve it, the minutes and the consent agenda as it has been amended, go ahead if you can roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Fury,
Yes.
Trustee Cadena,
Yes.
Trustee Nevares,
Yes.
Trustee Garcia.
No.
Mayor, the roll call is 3 yeses and 1 no.
Thank you very much for approval of the consent agenda that does include the BOT meeting minutes for January 12th, as it has been amended. Next item on the agenda is item number 7A for discussion, a review of the branches and duties. And in here, I do have a presentation that I put together for you all and just review of what we have and what we've done in the past as well. So just following true to what we have continually done in the past. So just overviewing all of these guys. So the 3 branches of the municipal government for the town of Mesilla, and an overview of that. The purpose of the municipal government is to provide the essential public services, enforce local laws and ordinances, manage public funds responsibly, represent residents, protect public health, safety, and welfare. The 3 branches of government consist of the legislative branch, or the policy and lawmaking, the executive branch, the administration and enforcement, and the judicial branch, which is the interpretation and adjudication. So our legislative branch, or the governing body, is the Board of Trustees, whose primary role is to establish local policy and adopt laws. They also serve as the financial and fiscal agents for the town. The legislative branch core duties are to adopt ordinances and resolutions, approve the annual budget, set tax rates, fees, and utility rates, approve contracts and agreements, and then help in creating the boards and committees and adopting those boards and committees. The legislative branch also focuses on governance responsibilities to act collectively, not individually, provide policy direction, not daily management, maintain transparency and ethical standards, represent community interests. The executive branch and the administration is made up of the mayor and the town administration. The primary role is to implement and enforce the adopted laws and policies. The executive branch core duties oversee day-to-day operations, supervise town departments and staff, enforce ordinances and codes, prepare and administer the budget, coordinate with other agencies as needed. The executive branch is made up of key offices. That's the mayor, the finance department, public works department, marshal's department, fire department, economic and community development department, aka all of our department heads for the community. The judicial branch, the municipal court, primary role is interpret and apply municipal and state laws, operate independently from all the other branches. The core duties of the judicial branch is to hear the ordinances and traffic cases, ensure due process, issue lawful orders and warrants, and impose fines or penalties. One of the things that I do want to note is in the absence in our local government of the municipal court, the magistrate court is the judicial branch for the town presently. So that's a difference in that. That does handle those checks and balances. So at the end of the day, all of the checks and balances is at the council that is comprised of the board of trustees. I only act as the chair in running the meetings and doing and splitting a tie vote if it ever came to that. But you all are the ones that set the overall overarching policy for the town. The administration, which is myself and the department heads, enforce the policy. And then the court adjudicates any type of violations that may happen. Each branch limits and supports each other. The separation of powers does matter because this does prevent concentration of authority, that it promotes accountability, it protects individual rights, and supports lawful and effective governance. It's a simple inclusion. Effective municipal governance requires respect for defined roles, collaboration within legal boundaries, and commitment to serving the public interest. Simple, easy, straightforward. Are there any questions? Thank you.
I just had a question relating to the mayor is the chief executive officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the mayor is solely responsible for the administrators and the employees of the town?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Okay.
And I think that that's a wise thing to note, just as we've talked about in other aspects and other key roles here, is that if there's any issues with the staff or the team, and it's brought to your attention as a trustee, it should come to my attention directly, and I will take care of the team as necessary, and follow through with those roles of accountability, however that may be. And that's on that side, as I do encourage you as the legislative body to definitely focus on the policies and let me focus on the team, please. Any other questions? Great. Thank you very much for that. Next item on the agenda is for discussion and approval for the remaining bench warrants that are not absorbed by the magistrate. So with that, if I can have an approval, please.
So moved. Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Cadena. I did not have a pass out on this just because it does have a lot of privy information on there, but I do have Ramona's here as well as our legal counsel. But what we have in general is, so the magistrate court absorbed, or came, I shouldn't say absorbed, they came in, was it last week, and did a scanning of all the files that they were going to be transferring over in open cases, open bench warrants, so on and so forth, to be transferred over to the magistrate court. There's still about probably 100, if not more, bench warrants that are still open and pending that are not going to be transferred, that are still here within the town. And in our communication, because Ramona and I were in a meeting with the magistrate court a couple of weeks ago, along with the AOC and other members of the district court, in communication of that, any of the bench warrants and cases that weren't transferred would need to be handled and taken care of by this body here, and the decision of what would be happening with those. That with that in mind, a lot of these bench warrants, I mean, I don't have the list. I know that legal team does have the list in front of them right now. With that, thank you to Ramona for putting that together with all that information on there. It is color coded with those that have been transferred, those that have been dismissed prior to this or presently have been dismissed, and a lot of those are because we don't have officers that are still with the town for those cases, or there's other reasons that they needed to be dismissed as those cases. Some of these cases do go back quite a bit in time, and then the bench warrant is still existing. Some of them have people that are on a payment plan that just haven't necessarily paid on their payment plan. So that's the direction, I guess, that needs to happen from the board. And then Ramona mentioned, or Miss Molina mentioned earlier today about some extra, or some of the cases having extra fees and fines that were added to them, not by the previous judge, but the judge before that. That wouldn't necessarily be applicable, that increase some of those rates on there. With these cases that we see here in this is that we would probably be chasing a bunch of them just to get payments. Addresses probably changed or potentially changed, as well as just life in general, that happens on that side. Some of the fines that are outstanding still range anywhere from $80 up to there's some that are a little over $1,000 in there. Ramona did calculate the total on that, and adding all of the open bench warrants up, it does equate to a little over $100,000 worth of outstanding fees in that. So the options that I would recommend for the board, I mean, there's several things, and of course, Ramona, I want you to get up and talk a little bit if you feel comfortable, and then of course the legal team to talk on the matter as well, and to answer questions. But I think that it's wise that in this overarching and overall, from a board perspective, I would recommend that we have the list reviewed by legal fully, and just they can make a determination on whether we dismiss specific cases, all cases, no cases, so on and so forth. Let them help with making those determinations on all of these guys in that side. It's a big responsibility, but a lot of these, when we look at the citations as well, are traffic, speeding citations, not having a driver's license, or failure to appear, I think, are a couple in there. So minor infractions like that, if you will. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that that's a significant amount of money, $100,000 that town could use.
I think that when we think about that too, in this is that, and Ramona and I have had a lot of conversations on this, or a few, I should say, back and forth, is that some of the challenges, as I've already mentioned, is that we might be chasing money. If that is, and if they're not responsive and they don't come in, then do we send it to a debt collector at that point in time, which could be extra money and extra cost on our part to do that. That's why, I mean, and then all the extra fees as well that was brought up today, that, you might have an $88 citation that wasn't paid for and taken care of in 2021, as an example. And then in 2023, the judge assessed an extra $500 penalty. So it's a $588 penalty now for the bench warrant. However, in 2024, the law changed where there can be no court fines and fees that are applied to that. So we kind of go negative to that point on that side.
And I'm not real confident that we're going to get anywhere near.
That's the sad part on that. Some of these were timed out.
Yeah, Mayor, I mean, so let me just, so you're wanting to turn it over to the lawyers right now, the list, have them take a look, because I'm assuming that the magistrate court already did, I mean, anything recent, anything that they felt like could take over, anything that was.
Correct. They came
They took
in
all those.
last week and took all the
And-
cases that they're going
and
to take.
So that these are really the cases that they point blank rejected, correct?
Correct.
So we have to do something. I just wanted to be clear about that. So potentially they're the old ones that that hadn't been collected on or had more fees than the actual original fee or those kinds of things that that obviously we were trying to collect and couldn't do, right, for a number of months or years. So I think it seems like our only option would be is to just make their best possible, but from a legal standpoint, decision on either to take some of those and still try to collect with just letters going out and maybe try to collect those, at a minimum cost to us, because the chances of collecting after all this time is probably
And I definitely, and I think Miss Molina works with those files closely, so she'd be able to see what's there. But in even just in thinking about it and speaking with the legal team already, what's likely a possibility is not just the timing of some things, because they did take some of the older cases,
okay.
but what's likely a part of that is that the files just aren't complete.
Okay.
So it's not enough to actually have to go after,
Okay. To take action on.
Yeah, so that's a likely reason why the magistrate, because they went through the files and they did take quite a few. Yes, most definitely. Please do. Like I mentioned.
Good evening. So if you were to see the list, there is a lot of them that are 2009, 2011. There is some more recent ones. When I first started and Toomey was here, we did send out letters telling them, hey, there's a bench warrant for you guys. Come and take care of it. Maybe 5 listened. The other ones just blew us off. We worked with them. Like when Magistrate Court was going to take over the other cases, I still sent letters to the other ones. Hey, you know what? This is happening. Magistrate Court might be taking all of you guys. If you want to take care of your fines order. Only a few. And it does take a lot of time because, as the mayor says, life happens. We move. We don't update our information, or they move out of state. I have to sometimes look in triple search, try to find an address for them, hope for the best, send out the letter, and then I get a return mail because they don't live there no more. So it is time consuming trying to get anybody to listen. It's not like that we haven't tried to get them in. I know Toomey had 2, what are they called? Like when the courts send out and then, like a roundup of bench warrants. I think we had 3 then that were caught and brought in and took care of the matter, but I mean, we've done things to try to minimize that amount. I just worked on it and it's $170-some thousand. But as the mayor said, when Toomey was here, some were on payment plans, but then when Toomey did the bench warrants, he added a contempt charge. We weren't supposed to be putting that tacked on $500 more to whatever the people owed. So that's why that amount is really, really high now. But in all actuality, if I were to go back and remove those $500 fines, it'd be a lot less.
I have a question for you. And I think we actually need to go to closed session and discuss this on a personal matter. And I think you know where I'm going with it. I think you do too as well. So we can make the decision, because how, I mean, how do you even ask that question? How certain do you know that those bench warrants are accurate?
Not 100%. I mean, there is, given the fact with past court administrators, the issue, what was happening, I can't say with 100% that a payment was given and it wasn't entered. So I can't.
That's why, that's a big concern. If we send out bench warrants, and that's what I'm afraid of. The magistrate got some of those.
Magistrate court pretty much, they dismissed the majority of, well, I think all of them, the ones that were current.
Correct. Okay.
The only ones that the town will keep are the ones in bench warrant status.
Okay, they didn't keep anything before you?
All the ones that were here with bench warrants. Mhm. They did keep
Even
some
the ones before you?
before me and some while I'm here.
I just think next meeting we need to go to closed session and discuss that, because that's a huge decision making just by that. Because I don't think we ever finished how far went back. If I'm correct, Johnson here.
Yeah, some of those could not be very accurate.
Yeah.
Right, I know we had issues, so, I mean, I wasn't involved on the board, but I was involved in the town, so I know that, and in conversations, we know that the issues that were inherited, so, and I think that it's okay, you know, as part of this, you know, and legal can step in however is needed on that, but, you know, the information, Ramona's done a great job on this and providing the information. I know that we have people, current people that are on payment plans, that are paying their payments.
Those are only a couple, maybe
It's a
2, 3.
handful, right? So that are there. These are bench warrants that are, some that are newer, some that are older.
Very old.
And some that are very, very old, right?
Mhm.
But I think that that's where we let legal make that determination. That's why I make that recommendation. Let them make that determination on what information, if any, is there that's needed,
Mhm.
if there is anything, or just let it go and just dismiss it.
Do you know why so much money is out there? I'm just curious.
I don't know the reason why. I mean, if you look at the system, it's because the payments weren't made. But in all actuality, like, how can you be sure 100%, you know, that the payment wasn't just entered?
Like you said, you periodically sent letters out to everybody that was outstanding.
Not
correct?
periodically, but we have worked on them.
Yeah, you have worked on them, and like you said, people change addresses and so on, so I think legal would be.
If someone was to come though, how would we judge it? Like, how would that work if someone was to come in?
But that would be the case. Is it like presently, if we sent it out and sent out the notice, then some people come in and make a payment. That's just like they would normally. So
Right.
it would, in the event that the court, let's say it's in 6 months and Ramona's not in this position to take the payment, then it would be taken by the utility clerk at that point in time and put into the appropriate account as such. If that were the case to happen, but as it's already been mentioned, is that I think that it's already been a chase to try to make that happen. And that's where this ultimately, and it just to be blunt and straightforward, if the legal team were to decide to dismiss everything that's open, then that clears the plate and cleans the plate, which is, I mean, it is right. I mean, it's the real option though.
It's a lot of money.
Mhm.
Trustee Nabali.
But like I say, it is a lot of money on paper, but if I were to go back and remove those $500, that to me, it was a contempt charge. We weren't, I even got that verified through Santa Fe, you know, that we weren't supposed to be putting those $500. If I were to go back and take those off, I mean, it would bring it down, but not to zero, because there is still quite a bit of insurance.
I just want to, I think the idea of having legal review it and then hopefully we get back feedback from them or report correct would be the best route because they more likely than not are the best to understand what's in those files and be able to make those decisions.
And maybe apply the dates where the issues.
Yeah.
From the past.
Right. And then I think that could be a recommendation is a certain within 3, 4, 5 years forward, and anything past that, just, I mean, but that would be, I think the direction needs to come from the board on what you all want to see on that.
I would support legal reviewing them.
I would support legal, but Ramona, thank you. I mean, I know it's a lot of work for one person to be doing. And, you know, I appreciate that you did that, especially I've seen you break down numbers to the T. And I know it wasn't easy for you to do it.
Glad to do
And
it.
paper tickets and stuff like that, going back all the way, it's a lot of work for one person. And you doing it by yourself, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
It's just unfortunate too that it got to this as
Yeah.
well.
I would too, and I think that with legal, just thinking about, I mean, we want to minimize the cost. And I mean, what is the I mean, we need to really do and have them do a benefit loss evaluation, like how much do we have to pay them to figure this out and what the potential pay is when Ramona and the judge in the past have been trying to collect and weren't successful, because I'm sure that's, I mean, what was happening, right? Is police were involved in trying to collect these things, and we haven't been successful so far, no matter what the amount is. So we have to do a cost benefit analysis, I think, by legal, because we don't want you guys spending thousands of dollars figuring out that we're not going to get any money, right? So at some point, you just say, we're not going to. It's not going to benefit you for us to keep looking, or we'll just do this.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, and I think that's a big thing to weigh in on all of this is the amount of time that we would also have to pay legal for their time, the amount of time that Ramona would have to spend on doing that, or if it's not Ramona, it's somebody else that's taking the time to do that. So, I mean, but so Rob works directly with the cases. Ben's here too, so.
Mayor, trustees, just briefly, I mean, we can do a cursory review of several of these cases, a sampling, and working with Ramona on it. But just by way of example, you have a here, I'm gonna pick on one, from a case from 2014. And the associated fine with that one is a total of $756. Looks like it was a stop sign, fail to yield, and then failure to appear, and then failure to appear contempt charge. The failure to appear charge and the failure to appear contempt, as Ramona said, are unlawful charges. So let's say we go through all of these and we say, hey, look, we can send out letters and we can try and collect these charges. If we go after one charge, or one of these individuals who was fined inappropriately, and we try to enforce that against them, then any benefit, let's say we collect all $240 from everybody else, the $500, $700 that we got from the one person, or tried to get from the one person where he was fined or she was fined inappropriately, they then turn around and file a Civil Rights Act claim against the town for doing it inappropriately. So like digging into this stuff in the details, if we miss one item, then it potentially exposes the town to greater liability than anything that it gains. Not to mention then just the cost benefit that you were discussing, trustee, with trying to send out demand letters to each individual and figuring out which ones we can, which one we can't. Anytime here, $674. Probably have to subtract the $500 contempt charge. $400, probably have to subtract the $200 additional charge there. And if the files as they were reviewed by magistrate court were incomplete to the point that they didn't want to take these cases that are not highlighted, that puts us in a bind as well of saying, we don't know. So do we want to take action on items that we don't know? Well, that could then potentially expose the town to liability from these individuals that we're going after. That's just broad brushstrokes, really quick, us looking at this spreadsheet this afternoon for the first time.
I can see when, like the latter example that you stated, but I don't know why we would, knowing that we can't go after the contempt of court, I don't know why you would say that we would do that when we know it's against the law.
Correct.
I mean, why wouldn't we just remove?
Well, we would, but for any ones where you might have some that are there, that they're just not documented fully, as clerk explained a moment ago, some of them we just might not know. And that's where we get into the trouble.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Would it be easier for Mona if we did it again and took off those contempt of courts? Did she remove them since she knows the cases pretty well?
Potentially, but then if they're incomplete files, again, then how do you know?
No, it's not that they're incomplete. It's just magistrate court didn't want to take the bench warrant one. They said that money already belonged to the town, so it should stay with the town.
Okay. That could take some time, but if we work together and figure out what the final tally is and figure that out, then perhaps. But again,
There's still risk of mistakes, like you said. I mean, we could collect a bunch and then we get sued because we charged somebody incorrectly. I mean, just by chance, if we did stuff to try to collect. But either way, I mean, I think we all agree that that it needs to be looked at a little bit closer since you just got it right now, right? This evening.
correct.
And Mona, and you can even have a discussion with Ramona and the mayor and see what the most
Cost-effective.
least risk situation would be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So they're not incomplete files, they're bench warrants.
The bench warrant. I'll do the bench warrant.
Mayor, board trustees, trustee Garcia, I think you had a question earlier as to why the numbers might be high. I don't know why the numbers would be high, but I suspect it might be an issue of this. Obviously, the bench warrants have their statewide warrants, there's national warrants. I mean, there's even international warrants, right? But I mean, if a warrant, certain warrants might even be just to this town, and if this is a tourist destination, if people don't come back here and they're not picked up again, that's the only way that the bench warrants are enforced, which leads to a slightly other issue. And this is more of a kind of issue that I dealt with at the state level when I was a prosecutor. If really old, when I first started, the incident happened when I was in high school, right? But when I finally get it in front of my desk, what happens is I try to go forward with a case and it got dismissed because unbeknownst to me, or wasn't even really involved, this person was picked up on the state warrant, bench warrant, statewide warrant in Farmington. The problem is in case law in New Mexico, it's the state should be aware of what it does. So even if the person's is picked up in Farmington, the state didn't do anything to affect that warrant. I mean, person was in the state's custody and control, didn't do anything, and therefore the warrant goes away because we weren't active upon it. I'm not saying that's what happened. I know this is not the state. The town of Mesilla is not the state, but the case is not clear. I don't think it's been argued or articulated yet because it's very common for the state to be, in terms of criminal defense law, is to refer to whoever's prosecuting, whether it's the town of Mesilla, city of Las Cruces, city of Albert, county of San Juan. I'm not saying that would be an issue, but potentially it's an issue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Trustees, any other questions? So review by the legal team and bring it back to next meeting?
Yes.
Great. Next item on the agenda, item 7C, approval of the public safety position.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem made the motion, seconded by Trustee Garcia. I'll open it up for discussion. And this was the position that we brought forward in the last meeting. I'm going through that. Are there any questions? Seeing as there are none, motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. Laura, if I can have a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Bureau,
Yes.
Trustee Cadena,
Yes.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Nevares.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 4 yes.
Great, thank you very much for approval of our public safety position. Next item on the agenda is approval for appointment of the public safety position.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. And with this, as I had mentioned in the last meeting, I'd like to look at a lateral position move on this. That would be for Miss Ramona Molina to be moving into this position with the courts closing into the future. And that way we maintain and retain a great team member for the town. That would not, the position would not, I do want to know it would not start until everything has been completed for the magistrate transfer and all the documentation and that we get everything finalized and in this office here before we make that position go on that. Any questions, trustees? Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. Gloria, if we can have a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Cadena,
Yes.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Bureau,
Yes.
Trustee Nevares.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 4 yes.
Thank you very much for the appointment of that public safety position. Next item on the agenda is approval of our Board of Trustees Committee and Board appointments. That I handed that out to you. That's the slate of all the committees that we had discussed in the last meeting and having that as assigned. If I can have a motion on the floor, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Cadena. Are there any questions or discussion? Gloria, if we can have a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Nevares,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Bureau,
Yes.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Cadena.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 4 yes.
Thank you very much for approval of our Board of Trustee Committee and Board appointments. Next item on the agenda for approval is Resolution 2026-04, a record of proceeding. It's a final closing for our comprehensive plan grant.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Cadena. I will open it up for discussion, if any. Seeing as there is no discussion, Gloria, if we can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Cadena,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Bureau,
Yes.
Trustee Nevares.
Yes.
The roll call is 4 yes.
And thank you very much for approval of Resolution 2026-04 for the record of proceeding. Next item on the agenda, for discussion only is a review of our wireless ordinance as it has been reviewed by our town attorney and amendments made.
So moved.
So no motion on here, just
sorry.
just discussion. I one thing
Carried away.
one thing that I will note, which I'm sure you all have noticed, is that there's some formatting that needs to be taken care of throughout the entire document. That is definitely noted, and we will be working on all of the formatting before so with that in mind, that will be brought to you with any additional changes or anything like that to the next meeting if it is ready for that. So Mr. Cabell, I'll let you take it over.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, just to go kind of recap on December, we had I think it was December, we had discussed about me reviewing the potential draft of this ordinance. And what I had to deal with was the original section 1854, what the town already had. Some changes, like some changes that were done by the PZA HAC in there. And of course, these additional stuff from the Washington ordinance as far as wireless transmissions. And so what I did is I did a couple things. I tried to address the typos that were in all like and there were mostly there were actually some typos in the original material. We fixed that. As far as the formatting issues, and I'll say this again, it was already mentioned, there was like 3 different types of groups. When you break the formatting, and I was trying to fix it, some of the numbers would automatically change in letters, and I'm still working on that. And so there's some justification issues and like page breaks. For the life of me, I can't get rid of. I'm gonna get somebody better than me to fix it, but it will get done. But the thing is I try to keep in the intent of what all 3 different groups wanted. I mean, I try to keep the language that was from the original sections that we already had. I kept the view corridors. I just took away the ones that are defined. Obviously indicating that the Board of Trustees will, can later on, if they want to, by resolution, make view corridors, and we can discuss how that would work later on if you want to. It has to be, I would suggest being real specific. I try to use language that I found. I looked as far as view corridors. There were different ways that people did it, and there's places that have view corridors that never mentioned the term view corridors. They just have specific language over specific streets of what you can and can't do for certain sites, certain types of buildings, and certain like vistas around the country. Some do actually have view corridors. Some call it other things. The point is I kept the language of view corridor. I used language that I could find that would generally applicable to what that is. Again, it has to be defined later if you want to do it by resolution. As far as the section from Washington, I kept all the intent in parts from the section that we got from the Washington ordinance. The parts that I cut out were mentions of case law, because it says, well, binding case law. It says cases, again, I discussed this earlier, it's not binding on the 10th Circuit. In fact, the 10th Circuit hasn't addressed some of those stuff. So I kept it binding that it will follow applicable federal case law, federal state law, things like that nature. As far as discussion, there are some actual terms, like for example, we had talked about wireless transmission, wireless telecommunication facilities, WTFs, and the personal ones, PSWF. The reason why I kept some of the definitions of ones we don't necessarily use in the ordinance is, one, because I wanted this to be a guidepost again for not just this board, but other board, iterations of the same board. When you look at it, some of these applicants might use that language, and it's a real common term. So if it comes up, you know what that means. To have the definition there. So I figured let's not get rid of that. As far as a couple of things that were missing, like on the shot clocks, which is a section that's in the Telecommunications Act, as far as when the applicants get, how much time the applicants get, as far as when they have the application, when it gets reviewed, when their application has to be complete. For whatever reason, I didn't even see it in the Washington section. I looked up the particular regs. under 47 CFR regs, and I actually put the date, the days in. It's a 60, 90-day period, depending on what it is. And I think those are the general things that I've done to make this, make the streamline the ordinance, took rid of some of the stuff that we don't necessarily need or is not really helpful, because again, it's just too much of an in-depth discussion of what our thought process is. I mean, we need to have an idea as to why we're doing this and our purpose, but case law and things like that nature, we don't need to really have that discussion, because whenever there's going to be litigation involved, the lawyers, whoever the lawyers, the board of trustees hires, will be obviously handling that case. I mean, they don't need to have that explained in detail here, because again, if you put it on paper in an ordinance, time has a factor of making things obsolete, especially in case law. And just some of the case law was mentioned, there was in circuits that are not relevant to our circuit. It's just not that as helpful. But I did keep the language as far as balancing the interests of this community, as far as the aesthetics and views, things of that nature, with obviously the rights of these telecommunication companies to have their facilities.
Did you keep the original setbacks in?
Mayor, Trustee Nevadas, I did. The setbacks that are already in here are kept. I didn't change them. I didn't alter them. So like the setbacks for as far as how like you'd have a wireless telecommunication facility from like the historic site that's kept in there. As far as those types of setbacks, it's in there. We didn't change that. We didn't make it. I mean, I kept as far as much as I can control to the community. Obviously, we want to maximize what the community says there, and if they want to challenge us because, at some point the FCC changes rules on what the TCA or the Congress passes a different amendment to the TCA. Let them do that. I mean, then the community will handle it as that comes.
And the funding for the applicant would provide some funding for the town to.
So, Mayor, Trustee Nevadas. So, if you look at that section for the Washington near the back end, and I'll tell you where it's. Section 1854-095, we have retention of experts. Like, so they have to things like have to pay for the experts. So it's something town is not just going to go into your blind, because I mean it is extremely technical issues as far as the RF radiation, as far as like site distances, measurements, and things of that nature. I mean, and there's technology that that I won't necessarily be aware of when this ordinance will take 10 years. There might be slightly different issues with the technology. So with those technical issues, we want to have that retention of experts, fees, and the application process. So all that stuff was kept from the Washington ordinance.
Rob, thank you for your work on this. It's a lot of work overall. And trustees, it is a lot of information, just as we've done in the past. I would recommend that as a discussion here, and as that part is that you review in detail the changes and the alterations and go through it, look, and if you can get any other questions or anything to that extent to myself or to Eddie by the 16th of this next month, which is after the next meeting. It's the Monday in between our meetings. And then that way we can review any potential changes and make those changes and recommendations with legal. And then hopefully look at bringing the document back to you in a more finalized form on the 23rd. If you feel comfortable with that. That way it gives you time to dive into word by word, line by line, because as I mentioned, it is a lot of information.
And Mayor and Board of Trustees, one thing is that there's a lot of this has to do with, of course, the Telecommunications Act, which is 747 CFR, the federal regulations. I made sure whether it was in our current stuff or with what the town already currently has in their ordinance and the new stuff from the Washington ordinance, that language that was being used, those numbers was consistent with the references were consistent. That means that it fits. It's not some changed number or something of that nature. So the numbers, the CFR numbers are accurate. Again, formatting issues I will fix.
Any other discussion? No? Rob, thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So trustees, as I mentioned, if you have any suggested changes, please get those to myself or to Mr. Salazar by the 16th of February, which is 3 weeks from now. That way we can review and go from there and hopefully have the final document to you by the 23rd.
Is this rough draft document going to be available for the residents to read as well?
It's online, and then we can have it available in a print form if they would like to have that in printed out as well.
Okay.
There again, just reach out and we'll get that taken care of for them. Or they can swing by the town hall here and get a printed form. I'll print. I know one that you want. Actually, it was in the packet.
It's in the packet, yeah.
So it is online presently, and we'll move it to where we do have our pending and approved ordinance changes online on the website as well. So I'll have Dorothy move it to that as well and update it. It is under there presently, but I'll have her update that when she gets back into town from Santa Fe right now. Any other discussion? Great. Next item on the agenda, item number 8 is public input. And this is where the public is invited to address the board for any other items. If you would state your name for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Martha Mulvihill. I just wanted to go over some observations and some concerns that I have. First, I'd like to thank Lorenzo and the Public Works for getting the water moving off of Highway 28. It was pretty messy out there. Second, when I was out campaigning, I noticed there was a lot of signs, street signs that were pretty faded out. I have noticed that a lot of them have been replaced, but I was wondering if they're all completed yet. Third, that most of the streets in Mesilla are in very poor condition with the construction that was going on around us. I did take a lot of pictures of the heavy equipment that was going through our neighborhood and which tore the streets up even more. I hope that the streets are going to be part of our, are going to be budgeted in for us because, we really need to get on top of that before they get worse. There's a non-functioning fire hydrant at the end of Bolt Street in the ponding area. And I was wondering if we know when that might get fixed. Can we get the fire hydrants painted? I know that it may not seem like a big deal to anybody, but they do look pretty old and they're ugly. And so I think that it would be kind of nice that they're more visible. Some of them had green caps, some of them had red caps on them. So I'm not sure what the significance of either one of those are. And then to go back a little bit, and I will hurry. At the last BOT meeting, all 5 commissioners and the alternates were all approved. I believe that this makes all of our positions expiring at the same time. We're no longer staggered. Reason I'm asking is because were we all supposed to get re-sworn in? Because I personally wasn't re-sworn in, and I don't know if we're supposed to be re-sworn in to continue our next 2 years. At the last planning and zoning, the previous chairperson whose term expired on 12/31 was directing the meeting prior to the new election. And I thought maybe it should have been directed by the vice chair because his term hadn't been terminated or ended. And so I was just asking, just kind of get some clarification on that for myself.
And last but not least, I would like to ask again if we can get some professional training for planning and zoning and the staff on the ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mulvihill. Other public comment?
Trina Witter. Excuse me. I wanted to comment on something that I just noticed tonight as I was reading through the packet. On the Community and Economic Development Department report, there is a registered business listed in there, Flock Group Incorporated, which is a security monitoring company. And I looked it up, and I don't know if you're familiar, but it is a company that also has automatic license plate readers that have been used. Well, some of the data has been sold to or shared with the government and shared with ICE. And I have some concerns. I'd like some clarification on what that business is going to be doing. Are there going to be, is this related to cameras that you're putting on the plaza? Is this related to police enforcement and license plate readers? The ACLU has recommended that that communities change and just not sign a user agreement the way it's worded, but having language in there that will govern that a community, say that we are not going to grant Flock a worldwide perpetual royalty-free right and license to disclose agency data. So I would just like you to address what that business is going to be doing in Mesilla, and if there are going to be cameras put up, where are those cameras going to be put, and what type of cameras are they, and what is in the agreement that we have with that company? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ritter.
Name is Dasha Bausheva, and I'm very encouraged by the progress on the telecommunications network, telecommunications, the WTF ordinance. Thank you. And I just wanted to reiterate a couple things, like the communities that were successful in fighting off a cell tower was Langley, Washington, and also Durango, Colorado. And I wanted to strongly encourage the board before you vote on the ordinance to please get feedback from Andrew Campanelli, who is a nationally recognized authority who helps small communities fight off these big multi-billion-dollar companies and their cell towers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Bausheva.
Hello, Board of Trustees, Mary Lucero again. I just have a concern. I emailed everybody today. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm real concerned. At our last
Mary,
planning.
Ms. Lucero, I will stop you. We did receive your email.
I wasn't going to say any names. I was just concerned about some behavior and reiterate about training so that we can all be on the same page and work together as a group. I wasn't going to read the letter. That's it? Okay.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Any other public comment? With that in note, before we move on, I do want to say that with some of the questions, because it's not ordinary, the board won't necessarily address questions in the public setting. And I can potentially, typically not, but I will say that with some of these things, in general, if you have issues or concerns, please bring it to myself, bring it to members of the board, and we'll look into it and all of these issues, and we'll get you the answers that you need. As far as it pertains to the other commissions, and the request for training. We are working on all of that right now and getting all of that potentially scheduled. Timing is when we're going to figure out all of that as a whole. We're always looking at the streets, and we want to know ahead of time that we are getting ready to go into the budget session or budget portion of our year where we'll be doing planning. So if you have any streets or infrastructure in general that you believe that needs to have a little bit of attention to be added to the ICIP or any of our lists, please make sure that you get with yourself or members of the trustees as well. That way we can follow up on those requests and ensure that they are on the proper list to be taken care of. I know that Fire Chief will touch on the colors of the caps of the hydrants once it gets to him. There's a specific reason for that. We do have the fire hydrant replacement on several grant lists right now. We're going to add it to a Colonias grant request as well that just opened up this couple days ago, as a matter of fact, for that. And we'll get that in addition to some other funding and hopefully get that taken care of. But to address that, and then on the other side, we'll look into every little bit of detail as far as it pertains to. We'll all the information. All right. And then Ms. Ritter, the Marshall will probably touch on the security company because that is one of his deals there. All right. Thank you all on that. Next item on the agenda is item number 9, executive closed session for discussion concerning attorney-client privilege matters pertaining to tort claims and pending threat litigation, in which the public body is or may become participant pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H7 for the Marshal's Department and Economic Development.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevadas. And unless there's objection or discussion, the motion will carry for us to enter into executive closed session. The time is now 7:08, and we will be retiring into executive closed session.
Did it go down? Oh.
Oh, you know what?
We'll be in contact. No, definitely. I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
We'll be in contact.
I may not get there. Everybody be here. It's fine. I think this would be a good one. Oh, wow.
So last year, shows up.
Catch me.
This year.
All right, bye.
If you want there, I don't make that straight. Then you can LED to our house. So 5 o'clock is eBay. And then you can go to the art section.
It's more signatures. Yeah.
You guys improved it well. I want you to have it. And then you walk into the park.
Hey, guys. How are things with you? Yeah, I know, it's today in your summer. Yeah.
So if you look at the report.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. And I think overall as well. Little things, but they're home.
Yeah. A lot of things.
Little stuff, that's good.
And one was a temperature monitoring on the seat.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't bring it up, no sensor back.
Oh.
I ordered another one. And I got a new phone, so I didn't know.
Oh. But yeah. Overall, things are good. It's just been a lot lately.
Yeah.
We're hanging in there. I did it. Yay!
Well, I hope not.
It's a joke. You ever see Monty Python on the Holy
Yes,
Grail?
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Then you are.
Then you are.
Good to hear your report.
What's that?
I mean, we'll get to hear you guys have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just what's in the packet, which I read.
I know, but I think
Nobody's here to ever hear.
they always, well, we're gonna try to.
Was
move
it like in
stuff on the
2017?
I think that'll be.
It during
nice.
the system, but not like, the judge system.
Yeah, I heard that.
But it's like, you ask a question all the time, I wanna give an answer, so shut up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's, give her the.
Well, that would be nice for especially you guys, the other staff.
Or especially if we get called out.
I was at a call, that's why I was late. So.
What?
Wait, no, don't
You
hit
went
me.
skiing?
Wow.
Oh, I think that's good.
3 months.
She lent into that, and she broke the.
Well, they'll find it.
That was just trip over.
You go back,
That would
there's no
not be
judge
good.
back there.
You just had the one.
Did you just use that for your good arm? Yeah, that's what I thought. She just used it for her. So she wouldn't have to.
Some guys doing the fiber optic, we see it. That's one.
I saw you.
Yeah.
You go back down.
Well, she story was talking
La mesa de ahí en el campesino, en la clínica familia, up until.
What's this law?
Yeah, the town is scary.
Texas. So a lot of communities.
Okay.
Oh. We don't pay you. They're gonna have something for somebody else. Like hardwood commercials or something. It's like private. I know they solved some really cool crimes using other people.
La mesa, ellos mesas se utilizan por
That's what they use.
eso está en lo Eddie Mesa, you know, and we're fine with somebody.
Yeah, exactly. But they should tell I don't know.
Yeah, the controlling data.
It's good parameters.
I don't know, I've watched too many of those shows on TV and I know they're all wrong. Like this is, you know, you see the little computer tech guy, oh yeah, they're here for everything, you know, they're super easy, and I'm all like, I know that that's not real, but the potential is there.
It is.
Well, I mean, like it can happen, but not the way that the TV is.
That's por eso murió el, no que sabía. Se tropezó con la se quebró el cuadril y de ahí que lo de la pila, like not even a year after Lopez passed. Stella.
See, they got nursing down the
She had
street.
cancer. versus giving it like
I
twice.
compare it though to CSI, the show CSI.
Didn't different hours,
So,
but
my
you don't even know how that
my
starts
actual
or
job, I never actually get to do it because like,
Uh-huh.
didn't see them, but the desk, yeah. So, when I first started working, so
I don't know,
first
I
started
haven't done that in a while, I know a couple of
CSI
years
stuff,
ago,
right?
we still come by and buy
They
stuff,
showed you on TV.
pero
And
es
now
que ya,
I'm solving everything.
mi mamá, no sé si hacer esto como para,
I'm gonna be able to.
mi mamá ponía burritos ahí por dólar,
Magic thing, and I'm
y
gonna
ahí
be
se
able
los
to
con
shoot
ustedes,
it.
y mamá le hacía los pies, y dice, mamá, se van a
All
jugar,
just gonna magically happen.
se le va a
Oh, no,
poner
it's not
su demás.
This one.
Yo, que decía, mira, era like, pues a $1.
All it's they show on there, like tiny elementary. And then most of that's just right? So I think, and I've seen that in a lot of places, like, yeah, that would be
No,
nice.
she
One day,
even,
one year.
I think she's had it twice already. And both times, porque está la daughter y how could you?
It's not.
No la ven en years, you're in 100 years.
The stuff
It
that
came
you
out in the news, you look at it in the newspaper. Yeah, some ceremony. Oh, wow.
Antes que el cable era tenían toda esta cuchilla.
So Andy's doing okay?
3 years.
Yeah.
Con nosotros, we grew up,
I don't
que
ever see
había
this. Where did he go?
across the street, hay apartments que están
Oh, I think I heard.
far, closest to the school.
So it's
Luego de ahí nos
almost.
movimos a los
I
apartments.
kept
de
trying to do, but it
Por las becas que
never
las
really
hijos de-
He did.
After that, we moved into,
Office. They said we looked at the dog when we left his kids, so he actually likes his kids, so. He said Andy. So he got one of those puppy, he got a set of puppies about a year ago, and then the other day, Hope just got him. So now they got all three. So that's what he was
So the
talking
two
about.
ones are mini Aussies are about that big. He got a year ago, but that's his biggest. Yeah, and then the other one's regular Aussie, like 8 weeks old.
So
is
he's
already
got
as big
hers,
as
he's
it
got
is.
Yeah, he's got a dog farm. It's like 5 acres, not a ton. But for them to run around. Yeah. Yeah, he likes, he really likes breed, he likes them smaller. But he learned that when he gets them smaller, you get what they get bred with to make them smaller, and they lose a lot of the traits of the original breed. So he likes the border collies, that's like his thing.
So these guys still come in.
They're not very.
They don't have any children, want to play with toys.
Yeah,
They're not their normal border collie stuff.
It's got, a lot of it's been bred out. No, they're not smart, and that's what he misses. He got one, and he kind of forgot, and he got this puppy. That was really smart. But he still loves them all the same.
You do a lot of reading when you get them to be small.
Oh, sí, sí, me comí el que hicieron pozole,
There's one who's got funny eyes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
no, I, my
That one's
dog.
got to go under an eye.
Oh my god.
It's gotten better over the time, but like when he was a puppy, they were like this, you know, and it was like- and then now they're kind of like, every now and then, they'll be able to do this, and then you have him out of the way. He's really a good dog, very, very loyal.
Love with them.
He just follows Andy around everywhere.
Unless he escapes.
He has running down Perry Road.
Yeah, I escaped once, twice, like in the same week. We figured out where he escaped. She calls me, she's all, I think I have you.
Oh, does she work over by there?
No, she was driving over there. And it was far away from.
He was almost saying he's on the North Ferry, really dog, and maybe South Ferry.
And when she called
And
the freeway.
the dog is this big, right? And it made it that far.
So she called me, she's like, I think you have to talk, where you find like, there's no way.
She
I don't
says
think,
it's
I think, you know, I don't think it's the dog, no, she said, no, I think it's the dog, Stan was supposed to get it for the dog.
Pero digo, sí,
I
te
think it's
ves.
the dog, I think it's the dog, I'm going, okay, I don't think it's the dog, send me a picture, I'll look grab it. Oh, I just put a little location. I'm like, you know, he just took me like 20 minutes.
It's following Andy. Andy came to the fire station.
Oh, that's what he was doing in the car.
Y
Yeah, so he's all of that.
muchas veces porque me no lo esperaba.
So Andy was like, this is disaster.
Nomás aquí no se puede ir.
Oh,
wow. ¿Y cómo sobrevivió?
Figure out how he's getting out.
Sí, nos está platicando de todos los fiascos que pasan ahí en el mismo house. Estábamos yo y Fritz asustados. Que había habido shooting y que sabe qué tanto más. Y lo traen to my daughter. Like, Mom, yeah, bingo. And I'm like, you went to bingo? I'm like, you should have heard Veronica's mom.
I
All
got
the
sick
stories
with
she
Norman
told us.
Shepherds.
Como para cuando casó mi nieto. Mira, en la agua.
Oh.
Cuando vimos para allá.
But you were working those, so they don't count.
Count, just not.
Para la cocina.
But they shed.
They count for
Has
fur, that's
hair
for
bigger
sure.
than these dogs are.
The shepherds are mostly out, come in at night or come in to hang out with us, but Saint Bernard is very indoor. Oh, God. She sees outside, especially if it's cold or rainy. No, not doing it. No, it's required for this. You're supposed to have like the barrel. It's freezing.
No, it's raining. I'm not going out in the rain.
Or the snow. Yeah, she's like, it's cold outside.
The shepherd, is so, like, when we go, she runs through the
Oh, yeah,
bushes.
she does.
She gets covered in.
Oh, the other shepherd is.
Que no ganan nada. Nada, para nada. Y fuera conmigo. Fuera con una caminada.
Well, they're not taking too long, they've been back there.
Empezaron a ayudar con las orejas. Con las orejas, porque hace unos años que no me ayudan nada.
It doesn't involve my work, then I don't.
Pero ella tiene.
Well, because of the wireless.
Y claro,
Yeah, that must be expensive.
ella, every summer,
Yeah, I was thinking about
cuando estaban en
that.
high school, cuando
Fees of
estaban
working, how much we
Genial. se venía de echar para acá. En otra parte, fue que mami, que era la chucha, estaba aquí. En un trabajo con ella, volvía a Trinema, todo los días. Era mi familia, y nunca se escapaba ya. Me gustaba mucho la comida. Y es lo más importante es que lo que tenía que hacer una nerd. Una nerd,
He's just got, and I know, he's about the initial magic, he's the hard, it's so hard when you encourage 3 it's so hard. Before that, he's just a nightmare. But if you look at it, in the packet, it's like,
Llegó y
it's
estaba hablando conmigo.
not bad, but it's got, it's hard.
No tiene pelos en la lengua esta, ¿verdad?
But if there's even been,
The wordings, yeah.
Me preguntó a ella que si puedo hacer chicharrones y
did you read?
I'm looking at hockey, I'm putting my big bag.
Did I read the final?
Yeah, which is in tonight's back.
I didn't see it in there.
Oh, it's there, that's why it's 192 pages. How cute, it's before the major it's right.
Tengo mucha familia. Los últimos 40, 50 es capaz de ser uno.
Yeah, that's just gonna be for conservation, you don't have to be. So, it's one of us that's going for bigger, because we can find it. Hopefully that's not just us.
Oh, the electrical ones, I don't know.
There's a crew there.
¿Y se subió la norma?
Yo bueno, para New Year's.
So it's from page 24 to.
Sobrinos,
They sent me the. No, postage due for this, but I have to. I can see if it's a PO box or it's an address, it's an address, it's 24 to insert value 50.
Could do that also, but it's 26, Wednesday, I'm meeting on Wednesday.
We tapped the shot clock.
And a meeting
It's from 8:24 to 6:02.
And then you can get America,
Yeah, because that's what the choice.
No, because there's Eddie.
Oh,
It's just Eddie.
yeah, that's good.
Look at
Those need to be outside.
Whoops.
There she is. Come to judge.
All right, hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there. Did you go hunting for some elk? Yeah. You doing good?
We have así people now.
Really?
La abuela se lo tanto conmigo. Sí, the first day, sí, yo creo que no. Cuando le bajaron de dejar el I got a word for you. 2 words for you. 2 words? Yeah. You know what they are? Yeah. Lager? No.
I can get coffee.
Dang, I know. Ya no hay por just want to get free again. Sorry, no free. The next day vino mi ahora, con esta rica es como 4 de
¿Y no quieren bueno?
No, nada. I had it all 5 days. All 5 days. Yeah, I had to.
¿Era tú?
No, Cao.
¿Y a dónde fue?
Y dijo, un amigo mío me dijo, you know what you need to do? You can let go you think it's good for both sides. How can you do better?
The thing is, when you take it off,
Put money into it.
you gotta put it back on, you gotta recycle it. You know, you gotta commit, there's a lot of trees that.
Eso lo vi, bueno, algo con Scorpio,
Yeah.
lo que tengo dos, pero ay, como no fuera con eso. Es más tipo, llegamos de Turkey. Nunca no,
Where'd you go? That's what I went. I went to 16. Oh, no, with I got me a cow.
You walk in there or working?
No, I go a state, es que está el state land y luego está el private land, pero there's one just parked side of the road right now. I didn't walk that far.
No, we can
Por acá, por 59, Camino 6.
Basically,
Cochinos, ¿sabes qué es un cochino?
No.
Y lo pegas a este lake, ¿cómo se llama el lake? Conchos, no, Conchos, it's Hollow Lake, I think it's Hollow, no?
That's totally
even down.
Willow. Yeah, pegas hasta este turbo y luego para de shit. I took my camper to the man, fucking took me like 4 hours or something.
como about 3 years now. Pero tiene un caballo. Tiene un caballo, porque siempre los caballos.
But there was this.
Nosotros vimos uno ahí, en el río de Estados Unidos, y uno observa ese. Nosotros le traemos aquí a los padres.
Yeah, they're not even scared of you because the people don't go all the way back. We went right now. First day we saw them like 30 minutes. Took us longer to walk the freaking hill to get them see by the day. We shot it at 40 years.
Yo me puedo pegar con este Patrick, con el examen. Pura amén.
Well, sometimes when we say you reply, you say, 100 yards. They're not supposed to. You're not going to hit them.
Yo, si voy a procesar, decided to,
Being a driver.
no way.
Or drive.
Sai numa calma, aqui não está aqui.
Yeah. And get back.
Iniciaron también también. Y después de la ya.
The market stopped really hard. If I was cold open when I'm
Oh, yeah.
When you go?
In December.
December 8th, something like that.
Está platicando mi sobrino que fue con otro. Que yo que pues no se pone a apply. Yo que apply for home.
That's what I did.
Yo ni sabía.
I got drawn for mule deer and I got drawn for the cow, but I applied for Aquí, 25. Mule, but no, I used to go to the Kilburn Ford, the Lava Flat all the way down to, I think it's Debbie. Maybe a little bit further than Debbie, just a little bit. Both was up on the border.
Oye, uno que yo creí que era se paró en la patada. Así nos dimos, ¿verdad? Y le tiré 5 kilos. Y lo hicimos, muy todo eso, por manos. Y no, pero en la cual me hizo y ya. Un blanco, bueno, ahí está, y está que está con la verdad.
También, yo digo,
Yo creo que mi vida, también las tuyas, ya está igual. Ya más, ahora, me siento chiquito, y bueno, que yo voy a ir con la edad, ojalá que le dé para tu cuerpo.
The only problem is they packing it out. You think there's no holes up there, man. For an hour and a half, it took us like 8 hours to pack it out. We shot them across one canyon to do this stuff.
Okay, Eddie, put the timer's up.
Does that mean closed session is over? Is that your timer?
Local mountain criminal, that is
Great.
Gloria's telling Eddie it's time to go.
Pero no caballo, nos preocupamos de esos cerdos que hicieron la calle. Y los caballos, no sé, bueno, los caballos les molesta
I
para
just had
nada.
a backpack that came back to the tree. It was just me and my son.
I was telling
County was using all ice creams.
Eran tipos que tenían que comprar.
No,
No, claro.
there's a chance.
Me echaron la calle todo, me echaron la vena.
And the town used this big.
Y nosotros el behind. Déjame llegar a la troca, ya están
Se estaba esperando.
están esperando los dos. Dije, la dijeron, mira, y cuando te vienen al metro, ¿qué quieres? Eso son para el carro. También le hizo para. Clean out to get to the house already. Dando vueltas.
I'll start
Y
getting.
dije, no toque a cargar pancho, que lo ya dice, ya se fue. Dice que lo
Who's
hice.
the next one?
No la dejen parar. Ahí eso está solo. Y sí, había un caballo, corre. Y había un perro, dos perros, pero cuidado.
Seems okay. He was going out to check around.
Una guerra indio, como haciendo muy
Distractors and
y venían un camino. Mira.
next year. I'm
Y ya quiero que me digan, me encanta. Veía mejor que ahí. Y nada, creo que ya no, pero la mañana. Y nadie se queda sin dinero. De cabrito, no sé, no subimos.
No, you've never seen them?
No sé, y yo va,
Oh, my son was a real.
y me aventó. El que fue el brazo y otro trabajador también. Y sí, ya me quedó el
So they were born here with road, and you're supposed to get through here.
y Y mi papá, él tenía dos hectáreas
The gas station sales.
y él dice, pero con esto le dieron más miedo, eran unos caballos.
Did they pinch it off this time?
Pasumino, no, Pasumino,
Last time they were all sketches.
pero,
16 has, no? There's
y
really
para
cool.
la New Deal, yo le dije,
They were trying to say, no, it's in the wrong spot.
Time
Like,
was ¿qué dice ropa? Y ve amarrarlo,
and that's the actual.
no, eso lo enseñaron como,
Yeah.
como lo amarran todo.
Bad thing about what it is.
Ya era para dejarlo, puede ver
So,
y ya le digo, mira, tú dijo,
more on the road, so
mira, no,
Usually they usan mulas porque hay mucho piedra.
Ready drove, actually.
They say the wheels are very.
He said,
no,
drill on the
la que fue a nuestro canal,
end of it.
allá subió,
Turned.
esto es lo que
So as it's going around, it's spinning like this, and they can go, okay, well,
lo
let's
hicieron guardar,
so they
es
go,
chicho de
Curve and torque.
they'll, or the center turn to the left. It's a
y
spin.
dijeron,
So instead of it's rotating around, you stop it,
do you run that?
and then they make it.
Y antes que se me olvide, ¿por qué no usa mi suelo?
Now it's pointing that way.
Usa mi suelo,
Chuy, the guy, so the thing has this tip that's moving around. This is moving around. So you can see the road.
Tiene una rueda.
Yeah.
Usa mucho suelo también. Lo que hicimos fue esto, yo trabajo con el señor acá, en vez de cuando no puedo tener los que a mí me están bien. Eso es la que es una de los años que tengo amigos que están
Oh, have this, and then over here.
Sí,
You probably missed it.
suelo.
Yeah.
Ese suelo, es mi suelo.
He's an
Así como es que otra vez miró Pancho y lo con usted. Y lo, cada vez que él también dice, no soy bueno.
Lo llaman aquí el rancho, no, no, mira, yo como no, y los días te vi que la estaba tratando. No, quítate. Y pusieron los años, Pancho.
Shut off. You can't repair it with gas.
I did it like right there.
Well, they didn't know exactly what it was. They changed the part of it.
It was.
Pues es que queremos una que esté de colores para que no la desconfundan.
Lorenzo, what happened? Was it a pump or was it clogged? What happened on Avenida? Was it the pump?
Yeah, the pump failed. Yeah, they just haven't been escalated so long. You know, we haven't ever escalated them, you know, because it's always been, it's your guys's, it's ours. it's
So whose is it?
We don't know, I mean, obviously, at the end of the year, we didn't want to deal with it because they didn't come out. So, we have to come, we have to take up ourselves and go in there, cut locks, you know, get onto the circuit board, and luckily me and Danny and, you know, the circuit board, because it was like a sword. You know, my board just, it tripped out because, you know, so many, you know, if it rains, it rains, if it doesn't, then, you know.
Yeah, you sit there all that time, not getting
Yeah.
used.
So that, it just happened to that.
So I saw them out there today with the tractor cleaning. So I went in and I drove through. Like, hey, good job. And then it turned to a sheet of ice. And I'm like, oh.
As it was getting pushed, it was just getting.
Yeah, we hit that couple in the ambulance.
Oh, yeah, yesterday.
Going to, that when we were going to chest pain or something serious, right? So we were moving. Like, oh shit, there's a little. Whoa.
Yeah, it was like.
So a little jolt, huh?
Yeah, that's when I called you like, hey, there's water.
And then it even got worse that we had to shut it down. We had.
People were hitting it at night at full speed. They weren't slowing down even with the signs. And even with the signs, they were going around it. Well, the bad thing is the detour sends you back up. So university, which doesn't go the way you need to.
Right.
Glad it's better now.
Yeah, we got it. I worked with JCHS. I had them out there and we worked for it to us in case it's not gonna go on automatically because it comes to work. But at least we can go out there and turn it on by hand.
If it rains, that's great.
Yeah, or if people like.
And have it do.
They don't. You guys are not. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to dash out. Yes. I was just gonna say, thanks for waiting. Everybody else has to wait. You don't have to wait.
All right, the time is now 7:43. We are returning from executive closed session. Where only those items for discussion concerning attorney-client privilege and privilege matters pertaining to court claims and pending or threatened litigation in which the public body is or may become a participant. 78, Section 1015 1H7 for the Marshal's Department Economic Development Department. If we can have a motion to return to regular meetings.
So moved. Second.
Pro Tem, Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Cadena. And unless there's objection or discussion, the motion will carry to enter back into our regularly scheduled. And the time is now 7:44 and we are back in our regular meeting. Next item on the agenda is Board Trustee Committee Reports. Trustee Nevades.
I did attend the Friends of the Taylor Museum joint kind of get together with the Farm and Ranch. It was nice to meet the other members from the other state museum, the Farm and Ranch, and individually we discussed a lot of ideas and how we could collaborate between the two sites. But it's a good get together. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Garcia.
Nothing but a bunch of emails from Andrew about a meeting on February 11th, and I have no idea what he's talking about, so I was gonna email him later on tomorrow and ask him about a work session that he wants to hold.
I know we have our NPO monthly meeting on February 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was, February 11th, right, but he was asking about a work session. Did you guys discuss back in December or November?
Yeah, and I thought nothing came of that, because I never received a response from him regarding that. We were supposed to have a special meeting to discuss the safety standards that I mentioned for our own municipality, our own MPO to have, but I didn't see anything follow up from that.
Well, he sent a couple emails out today.
Oh, I would check my Lucia email today.
That's it. Sorry, that's all.
Trustee Cadena.
Yeah, I was not able to attend the Friends get together, so I have no other report. Thank you.
Trustee Johnson Bureau,
Um,
or sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Bureau.
That's okay. Again, just monthly NPO meeting on Wednesday, February 11th at 1 p.m. at the Board of County Commissioners Chambers. That's all I have here.
And then in this email from Andrews, it's the meeting on the 11th, but it shouldn't be a long meeting because he was asking if we still want to have a work session for the safety target stuff. And then I do have a executive meeting with them as well coming up. And there is, and I can't recall, South Central Regional Transit. There is a meeting on Wednesday at the county building at 1:30. So I can't recall who's.
Is it me?
South Central RTD?
It seemed to me.
Did it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Veronica and Viviana.
I said I would be there because they were wanting.
We were still in transition. Okay.
So I don't know if you want to attend that meeting. I put that on my calendar.
What is it, this one?
This one.
It's from 1:30 to 4:30.
Can you attend, is that that Southwest Central RTD? Can you attend it for me?
I don't know, are you, Mayor, are you too?
I won't be able to.
Okay, so I had told the liaison that I would attend.
Fantastic. Thank you.
But again, I just noticed, uniforms.
Yeah.
So I can do it because I have it in my calendars and they already confirmed.
That would be amazing.
All right.
Because I saw those emails come through. I have a conflict, unfortunately. So.
Okay, and so how does that, because it looks like I've been assigned to it. So, I mean, I'm sure I did volunteer for it.
Yes.
But how do I get the mail?
I will send it to
South Central.
to all of them. That way they have that.
Okay.
And I'll send it.
Are you willing to?
No, you got it.
Yeah. I'll forward everybody the new list of that. I'll get that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, Board of Trustee and Staff comments. Marshal's Department.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. Don't have much. Saturday evening, we had to shut down a portion of Highway 28 between Union and University. My graveyard guys are out there for stalled vehicles, damaged vehicles. Our public works was out there because we were having issues with NMDOT. I'll let Lorenzo get into that, but with the help of state police, we did shut it down. And it was still closed this morning, right? Yeah. What else? I'll be in Santa Fe next week with the ones that are going to participate in Municipal League training and classes, and for the Chiefs of Police Association annual meeting, which we're going to go over some bills that they're concerned about on the LE side. And then we're still, or the position for ACO codes is still open. We've had 3 applicants. We're going to keep it open another 2 weeks, hopefully get some more. And then once that closes, liaison, hopefully you can assist with interviews. And then as for flock, it is flock safety. It's license plate readers. It's a critical tool in law enforcement these days. Doñana County Sheriff's Office has them all over, very close to us too. City of Las Cruces, State Police, and New Mexico State University PD have them all over their campus. They're giving us a free trial, which is 6 months. The areas I designated was one on Calle del Norte coming into town, one on Calle del Paso and Glass coming into town, one on the north end of 28 facing south end, and one on 28 facing north. And then I'm still debating on putting one on the plaza, which would look down Calle de Padian eastbound, so the exit of the plaza, or on University and Stanford coming into Mesilla. My impression is I get to pick who has access to them. I get to authorize, and if they're not authorized, they don't get permission. If they do ask, then I can share it with them. Before anything's signed, of course, I'll have our town attorneys review it, the mayor review it, and of course the Board of Trustees review it. But it's free, 6 months. They pay for the install, they do everything. If we don't like it after 6 months, they pay to take them down and there's no cost to us. If we do keep some, they'll give us a breakdown or statistics over the 6 months. If we do keep any, it's $3,500 a camera for a year, and that would come out of my LE fund anyways. It's a critical tool. The DASA one that was on Union was the one that helped catch our Code 1 suspect driving southbound towards Southern Park, where he eventually ditched his vehicle. And then Southern Parks helped us pick out where he ditched his vehicle. So it's a useful tool. I'm not in the process. I won't give it to ICE or federal guys unless they have a reason to view it. And then, of course, we'll update our policies and procedures on the marshal side, the town stuff. I know there's court battles going on how long you keep the information, what information you can keep. If it's not critical to a current case or call, I will not be keeping the information, and we will not be distributing the information to anyone that doesn't have authorization. So I'll stand for questions, concerns.
I had a question. Are you gonna need a bigger server for that?
It's on the cloud during Flock.
Okay.
So just like our lens lock is on their cloud, we'll just have access to it. So it's not going to be stored in-house, thankfully, because if that was the case, no, can't afford that.
For interviews, just give me a heads up.
Yeah.
A day heads up doesn't matter.
I'll get with you, but whatever day works best for your schedule. Every day?
Just let me know.
Okay.
Just give me the date.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Sorry for being late. We were at a call. You all have our end of year report. I guess if you have a chance to review it, here to answer any questions. Today we had state fire marshals out doing their annual inspection. We passed. They find a light bulb burned out, and now they want a piece of hose on something that's never had a piece of hose on it before. So minor deals. We also had the state pharmacy inspector out today for our controlled substances license and couple of little minor paperwork things they want us to do. And so we're next up probably to be able to carry those controlled substances, which we need to have. The answer for the hydrant question is fire hydrants are color coded per National Fire Protection Association. That gives us points for our ISO rating. That's one of the things they ask for. Do we have a color coding for our hydrants? The color coding tells the firefighter when they show up to catch that hydrant, what the capability of that hydrant is. So if it's red, it's either a brand new hydrant and hasn't been tested yet, or it's below 500 GPM, which is not a good hydrant. We flow 160 out of one nozzle. So 500 GPM is not a good hydrant. Orange is 500 to 1,000, and then green is 1,000 to 1,500, and blue is over 1,500 GPM, and that's what we want. So it gives them they say, I have a green hydrant over here and I have a blue hydrant over here. I'm going to catch the blue hydrant because it's a better hydrant. And that's why they're color coded. It's not anything to do with any decorations or anything like that. Yes, there are some old hydrants out there. We don't paint the barrels. I don't have the funding or the time to be out repainting barrels when the red gets faded. The contractor that I've been paying to come out and test the hydrant just paints the bonnets, the color coding. That's all we're paying him to do. But as the hydrants get replaced, they'll be red again. So I stand for any questions.
How many hydrants do we have down?
171, counting the new one on Old Farm Road.
No, how many do we have down?
Out, about 20, 25, somewhere around there. So it's 10%-ish, which is pretty normal. But as we fix one, another one's going to break. It's just the way it is.
And our grant request for replacement is for 25. So that way we replace 25 hydrants. And we will continue to seek funding after that.
Is it true though, like it hurts our house insurance if we don't have so many up and going insurance rates?
Well, the insurance rate's tied to my ISOs, our ISO rating. So our ISO rating is a 4, which it went up from a 5 to a 4. I really think it should have been a 3. They do look at the hydrants, but the most important question they ask is, are they being tested and inspected? They know there are going to be hydrants that are out of service, and I get them tested every year. So we're meeting that standard, and we already have, for instance, the one she was talking about we know that one, that's the, Public Works put that one out of service. They needed to use it. It was really hard to open, which means it might break while you're trying to use it. So they put that one out of service. We know it's bad. It shows up on our mapping when it'll show up as, black with an X over it. So we know it's a bad hydrant, so we can make other plans. We're either going to catch one farther away, or we're going to be calling for tenders from the county. It's trucks with 3,000 gallons of water on it. So there are systems in place to account for that. You always have questions, Trustee Narvaez.
No, you answered them.
Okay. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm going to make sure I answer your question.
Next time.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, well, your report's good, so we've read the report.
Okay.
That's a lot, you've been doing a lot of work. I keep looking over there because I know both of you are working like crazy and the whole team is.
We have, now we have 4 paid, counting me. There's somebody at the station almost 24 hours a day. So that's a big help right there. And we have outstanding volunteers that are out getting training. And I mean, we're more certified than on fire and EMS than we ever have been. The fire marshal inspector that was here today, like, you have that many people? And yeah, and I said, the ones that aren't certified are brand new. So they're working on it. So, you know, whenever you see them out and about, thank them, but we appreciate everybody's support.
I have one more question. Did you figure out how are you gonna be billing people or no?
So on that, so the problem with billing, and the county's in the same situation, we have to get an ambulance license. We'll just call it that, a transport license. We have a license as a transport capable medical rescue, but you can't charge. You have to have an ambulance transport license. It's bureaucracy. Well, it used to be under the Public Regulation Commission. So you'll still see some ambulances say PRC, and then it'll have a number. They gave it to Department of Transportation, who didn't want it. Department of Transportation has not been very helpful in helping anybody get their license. And we found out why. Starting July 1st, licensing goes to the EMS Bureau. So DOT doesn't want to do anything with anybody because it's only going to be for 6 months, so they don't care. And EMS Bureau can't tell me what we're going to need because they don't have processes in place. They have no idea what their requirements are going to be. So once we get to that point, then once we find out what they need and what we need to do to get there, then we can start billing. The county has offered to bill for us, and not charge us for that billing. It's because of the work that we're doing, which you see in the report. And conservative numbers, I mean, looking at what we're doing right now, 200, 300,000 a year at a 50% recovery rate, which cities recovering 60%. And they're not chasing anybody. I don't want to chase anybody. You know, if they have insurance, it's covered. Send them a letter. They don't pay it, then we submit it to Medicaid, Medicare. I always get them confused, but there's a process there to recover when you can't get that billing. So that's the plan. Hopefully by June-ish, we should know where we need to be.
And I still stand by telling you, if you need help with the billing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Challenges are what I do all day.
Yeah.
My billings, what I do that work.
It's going to be a process. I'm sure we'll reach out to you and you can come see what we're doing and see. I mean, I know that there's things we're going to have to do.
That's easy.
Yeah.
To bill. So like I said.
Yeah, I know it takes some time to recover that, right? But it takes some time to get that. But once that gets rolling.
90 days to get refunded. If not, you have to write it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's a timely.
So like I say, the city's 60s at a 60 city is at a 60% recovery rate right now, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I say 50% to be conservative, and that should put us in a good spot to continue paying salaries and maybe hire somebody else.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm willing to do it. I won't charge, but I'll do it until you find someone, you know, to bring funds in and can.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Trustee. Anything else? Thank you.
You got a lot on yours. Mayor, Board of Trustees. Over here, phase 3 of Calle del Norte. I had pictures of. I don't know if the mayor. That's okay because I didn't get a chance to go out and get you pictures for universities. Yeah, so we'll get them on the next meeting. But that one is I'm gonna say is already about 95% finished. I got the pictures. We're just waiting on on the contractor to do their punch list. So that way that one can get finished off and closed off. University, they're doing their landscaping. They're doing a lot of landscaping. They put the bicycle pillars. Myself and Trustee Nevadas were just talking about them the other day. About those, the pros and cons of them right now. But I mean, that's their deal. But like I said, next meeting, I'll have some pictures to see how those, if you guys haven't gone down that way and how far they are in their landscaping and their progress. Next week they will be getting ready to go into the phase 3B, which will be at the railroads. So we will put out as soon as they get the map sent out to us, we'll post it online, and the traffic flows will change and all of that. So Highway 28 this past Saturday and Sunday was a little bit of a challenge because it's always with that little station. Since I've been here, it's been a back and forth. We've never been able to figure out who or wants to have the control of it and who doesn't want to have the control of it. So this morning we got in there, did what we had to do to get that pump up and going. Myself and Manny, put our heads together, got that going, cleared out the road, and made it go for the traffic. We still had a couple of characters go through there. I mean, but it's the way it goes. That's the way it goes with the road construction. As far as that, just the cameras at the community center are going up. The card readers are there. That's almost getting ready to go live whenever that happens, and just everyday maintenance and routine. And I stand for any questions.
Will you also give an update on veterans?
Veterans Park, yes. As far as I know, we've been getting the list together and submitting to get the insurance stuff going with the electricity has been going there, but we getting the quotes there so we could get the lighting and all the planners. Everything is a go. It's gonna come to a go, but getting material and all of that, you'll see it getting here started. I'm gonna say within a week or so.
And then also thank you to you and the team, because we all reached out and worked to get that graffiti off the main entrance sign. Which, I mean, it's a big thing right there when you can see that from the get-go. And everything.
Can you fix a light, the one that's right there by the church, that lights out on the community, on the plaza? Right there at that stop sign going into, what is that street?
Is that the one with the camera on it on Principal
I don't know if that's a camera.
and Santiago?
It's right there by that jewelry shop, right there at that first stop sign by the church.
Does it blink?
No, it's the one at Guadalupe and
Yes.
and
The silver with the silver?
Yes, silver, yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll go ahead and have that one looked. Because I was also brought up to my attention that the one on Principal with a camera on it is also out. And then of course.
Those have the LED array.
Yeah, those ones have the LED ones. Yeah.
Thank you for fixing Highway 28.
You're
I
welcome.
called them and I told them, I was like, here's a picture of us swimming in the water. And I'm surprised how many people were still passing this morning. and they were wiping out on the ice and
Mhm.
like they were just
Mhm.
hauling it. I was like, okay. But yeah, but that place always gets watered out like that. This is the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah, no, and like I said, it's an ongoing with us in the DOT, and as far as the agreement, that I'm aware of, that they agreed that the town of Mesilla was supposed to be taking care of all of that, but in 8 years that I've been here, that's the first time we put our hands into it, because it's a back and forth deal, even with the previous directors.
You all will probably see in this upcoming budget cycle,
Mhm.
as an item added to the ICIP, potentially, just because there is grant funding that we can go after to help with the replacement of the two pumps in there.
Mhm.
So we can look at that possibility.
Yeah.
DOT's not in charge of it?
No, apparently there's the agreement that shows that we are, but like Lorenzo just mentioned, it was just brought to our attention like recently. So we'll take responsibility, but
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, thank you for your 8 years being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
8 years or 9 years?
8.
8?
Mhm.
You celebrated 8 years here with us.
I'm fine, yeah. I didn't know it'd been 8 years.
8 years.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Mr. Salazar.
You Mayor, trustees. As y'all know, we have our department heads report, this time around. I guess we're doing them, last time we mentioned that we're doing them the second week, just for all the department heads to be able to get all their information. It is in front of you, so I'm just going to recap real quick what we have been doing. It's already set. Right now, our couple of priorities we are working on a historic registry. We are already had a work session with the PNZ or PZAC, discussion with how procedures, how that's going to go, and what is required from SHPO in a sense. 3 nominations for that. I posted them today. Dorothy's not here today, so she will be posting them online tomorrow, along with the couple of amendment proposals for the ordinance. One regarding signage. We talked about that last couple of meetings, signage on the commercial zone. Just trying to revamp it, try to make it look a little bit more user-friendly, detailed, those kinds of things. So that way, when those kind of things, those cases come up, there's not very much confusion or controversy regarding that. Although other hearing, we are going to have the other case we are going to have, I also mentioned, is the concerns that the citizens or residents have south of the university due expansion of the university, the trail from the trail to the properties, is allowing the residents to be able to measure the 6 feet outside of the property to be consistent with the wall, to be even all the way through. Therefore, because a lot of the concerns they were bringing up to us was that we've heard was, the property's much lower. If we build it 6 feet from my property grade, it's only going to be 2 feet from the trail, right? So we worked on the best way. We got the attorneys involved. The best way would be to amend, our code just for that section between McDowell and Bowman, to allow the wall to be constructed based on the grade of the trail, and not the residence property. So yeah, that's going to be the other hand. I think that one's pretty basic. Not much anything other than that's being changed with that. So those are the hearings that are coming up. Another thing that also we already, Liana's already, started looking at grants. She has been. I'm getting about more looking into grants. To be honest with you, I'm limited on my experience with grant writing or even applying for grants. We did find a course, NMSU Online. It's a free course for beginners. We already enrolled, and it's do that at your own pace kind of a thing. So I want to get a little bit more involved with that because my goal is to address the greenbelt, right? The farmers, and those kinds of things, so that way we can help preserve farmland as much as historic buildings here in Mesilla. We've already had a meeting or an event. We participated, me and Liana, a couple weeks ago with an organization. It's Utopia. It's Southern Roots, New Mexico Southern Roots or something like that. It was a small event, but we did make some good contacts. And again, we're looking for to network and to be able to get some ideas and some funding, some grants possibly for farmlands and preservation. So if anybody has any ideas, brainstorming, there's no idea that's bad idea. Anything that anybody's willing to share or direction that we should do or take are greatly appreciated. COG, we did submit that in December. We did get a response from Carla McWilliams. She is a deputy, I believe, deputy director, and it's a small, it's a lot of requirements that you got to meet, the amendments and stuff. So we have some very small fine tuning, and then hopefully with that we will be able to get our certification with that. Let's see what else I got here. GSI maps coming together very nicely. I'm excited to put it public. First of all, present it to the board, put it publicly, and there are going to be a lot of good information, not just for the board, but for public works, for fire department, for the public itself. I still haven't gotten with the fire chief, but he's going to be involved with putting it together as well. So he can benefit from it as well. Every municipality, just about every municipality has GSI software, so if you need Doña Ana County, or maybe, for instance, El Paso Electric, if you request El Paso Electric, their access to all their electrical poles, all it is just a website that you're able to import into your GSI, and if we click on a button, okay, where are all El Paso Electric poles? You click on it, and they all get, and then you unselect. It's just layers. You unselect another one, so it doesn't get too crowded, right? So depending on what you want to look for. So again, I am excited to bring that forth and put it to the public, get it to the public size as soon as possible. Excuse me. Again, other than that, I had a meeting with Rio Grande here next door last week. They were doing some procedural meeting with evacuation routes and such. And I met with Officer Coghill, I believe that was his name. And there were just some concerns with, they do have a evacuation route, number 2. Number 1, they have it going towards the community center. Route number 2 is going to Zia Middle School, and they'll be via the canal on the back. In front of the Rio Grande on the Bouts side, there's no sidewalk or anything. It's just dirt, and then goes straight to the street. They do have some students that are in wheelchairs, EDA, and they requested that maybe we can take a look at that and provide it. It's a small stretch. I want to say maybe 80 to 100 feet to where that way there is an evacuation route. You'll be able to get them to the sidewalk and then obviously away from the building. Also, they requested that we look at maybe a crosswalk similar to the one at the university. That you have students that, just running across the street, as I got with the mayor, a lot of that depends on how far do you need to be from the intersection, from a stoplight. So definitely we'll take a look at that as well. Other than that, I'll stand by for any questions.
I got questions. The one that you're having on university, that one's February what?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Your notice for the hearing 1, 2, and 3. When is that one? February 16th?
1, 2, and 3. Yes, February 16th. I put that today. There's a revision from when I put.
And then there's another one on February 9th, right?
Yeah, the February 9th, that one is for the Board of Trustees. There is a meeting for a alcohol license that is submitted, already reviewed. I got the package back from New Mexico Alcohol Division, RLD, and that will be a hearing. That will be a alcohol license request for Miss Parian, the Casablanca. I keep forgetting the name, but yeah.
And the other one notice is on February 16th?
16th, correct.
Is there any way you can make me or something so I can let the Mesilla Park residents aware of it? I'll go door to door and I'll put it on their door so they can come and attend.
Yeah, we just haven't decided where we want to put it, but I'll be more than happy to put it anywhere.
No, but like just something letting them know that we're working on it.
Okay.
So that way they can attend it.
Okay,
Because it would be a public input or would it be?
yes,
That's why, that way
Okay.
they can come in.
all right.
and give
So you
their-
want some copies, like some notices for copies, or
Yeah,
how
like
would
a
you?
notice copy, I guess, because I know they're gonna ask.
Because we post it online, I mean, I don't, not all of them go online and look at it, but, yeah, I could make some copies, or maybe, can we start, does it need to be official? We can start putting it over at Mr. Easterman's. I think last time we talked about that, it was talked.
There's the man in Messiah Park, but I was gonna go door to door.
Okay,
I was gonna go door to door and leave it at each
yeah,
door. and let them
I can get
attend
you
it,
some copies.
So they don't feel like we're forgetting them.
Yeah, the one, especially the one with the wall height and all that, because there have been,
Yeah,
people have been calling.
I don't know, it's just something.
Yeah,
Or
do
just
some.
make me one, I can make the copies. Doesn't matter, just so they can be notified.
I can have them for you tomorrow. I'll message you, or I'll send you an email, and I'll have them ready for you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do it this evening. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? No?
Thank
Thanks.
you. That's mine.
I hope you noticed that on the GRT comparison, it's been high. Our GRT is coming in higher than last year. Hopefully the trend will continue. We do have, December will be reported next month, so maybe after that it's gonna start dropping, but it's come in really good. We didn't get any cannabis this month. I don't know if they closed. We didn't get anything this month. I thought that one was still open.
No, that one is still open.
The one by La Costa
Yeah.
still.
And they may be, excuse me, they may be reporting it quarterly, because they have that option.
Right.
So, also, some of the staff will be attending the clerk roundhouse next week in Santa Fe.
And I noticed the GRT was really, every single month was hot, was in double digits.
And then,
The GRT was in double digits over
Yeah.
the projected, yeah.
Yeah, there's some on that, I highlighted compared to the December one that we haven't collected anything on. So I'll send it to you.
Yeah, if you have questions,
Yeah,
we
there's,
can look
there's
at
quite a
and
few
see.
that we haven't collected from, that people have licenses on. I'm kind of figuring out why we haven't collected from them, from the state at least,
Yeah.
on there, so,
We can look into any of that and see, drive down.
yeah, there's, yeah.
So, and that's one thing that we're getting ready to get some cross training going in the finance department as well with TRD, taxation and revenue. So that way they can drive down more on specific reporting for businesses and such on that. So,
Yeah, if I was comparing the one from December to now, and we still have collected on quite a few of them, and I was like,
for which part?
even one, like cigarettes.
Some of them aren't applicable as well anymore.
Yeah.
So that there, and Gloria knows those ones in detail. So we can drive down on that because some of them we don't receive funding, state funds anymore on some of those things.
Oh, okay.
But
I have
yeah,
a
please
list.
send it
No,
to
I
me and
have- I have a list.
we'll look into it and figure it
Okay.
out. No, but thank you. Trustee Navares.
I just want to take an opportunity to thank all the employees of the town of Messiah because I think, without your efforts, our day-to-day operations would not exist. So thank you again for your work that you do for the town of Messiah. That's all.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia.
Just a couple of them, how, on this ISIP project, the three that we're going up for, right, we're going for 3 in Santa Fe, the top 3? How did we get those top 3?
They're the top 3 from what was submitted.
Well, I just thought maybe water system was a little bit more important.
So what that is, we're going after Colonia's funding for that. So it's not necessary to go after capital funding. So these are capital funding. Everything else that's on that list, and you see, if you look in that the ICIP listing of what you have that I sent to you, that has the listings of our FY 27. It's 2730, and with that, those listings and those requests, the top 3 are for capital outlay in that. Those are those requests, and then everything else that's below that has potential grant funding that's available that we're going after. So through Colonias, Water Trust, there's recreation. So they're all, because we need to have the ICIP control numbers in order for us to apply for that funding. So we're getting it done.
Can you make sure that the board gets a copy? Because Jerry over here did it. I'll share on my copy.
And that copy that you have, as I mentioned, is a new copy because they updated the system. So the copy that the trustees have from last year, it was from the old system that showed it in like an Excel table. This one, they haven't figured out how to do that with this new system yet. So hopefully they'll make it easier to read than what it is right now.
Okay.
But the new system's really cool too. It works out extremely well.
And then the other thing, I don't know if you guys continue doing this, but last time I was here, the board used to buy once a year or once every whatever, we used to buy to show appreciation. We used to buy them lunch or breakfast. I mean, you donated one time for us. So I don't know if the board wants to bring that back. If not, I get a local restaurant, go talk to them. I mean, I stopped at Double Eagle the last time, and I think he only charged us like $100, and it was to feed all staff members. Because I know you can be up here and say thank you, thank you, thank you, but actions speak louder than words. A little bit, sometimes a little bit more. So I don't know if you guys continue doing that, but I would like to. Carlos Arsenal and I started that, and I would like to bring it back. You know, Andala's done it before, Salud's done it, Double Eagle's done it. You know, so if you guys want to bring it back, if not, I'll do it myself. But feeding the staff, you know, just showing appreciation. So I don't know if the board wants to join in or not.
And
That's it.
Trustee, I just want to touch on that because it's great idea for sure. And I support that 100%. And I know that the department heads, and just to kind of go back, the department heads at the beginning of this year, or the end of last year, beginning of this year, decided that jointly together we would have a monthly get together. As I mentioned in the last meeting, that would be the first Friday of every month, in order to get the team together to do a cookout here and do food for the team. So that's one way of that as well. Also celebrating birthdays for the month on that day, and other requests in there. Always open to the Board of Trustees, and I'll include that. I'll have Gloria email that information out to you as well tomorrow. That way you can put it in your calendar and have that set there. But if there's other dates that you want to do, then or
I'm
the
saying
planning.
the board pays one time. We donate and we'll get it catered.
Perfect.
Over here for them, you know,
Let's do it.
not us as a board, you know, showing appreciation. But I mean, like I said, Carlos Arsenal and I started that a couple of years ago, and I don't know if you guys continue doing it, but I know where I left off. I can go find another restaurant. And most restaurants, to be honest with you, when you go in there and you talk to them about the employees, they don't want to charge us. You know, they want to show their appreciation. Buddy Ritter was one of them. He was like, no, I don't want to charge. Like, you were one of them, and so was Andrea. And I'm like, no, we're using your staff and we're using your facility. So, I mean, you know, we just divided it and we all pitched in and paid it. And, you know, so whichever.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Cadena.
Yeah, I appreciate the reports. I think they've been very thorough and very good, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. So thank you very much. And first responders, man, I don't know how you're doing it, but thank you very much for doing what you do.
Thank you, Trustee. Mayor Pro Tem.
One thing I wanted, this whole month that, I was really pleasantly surprised in that, I shouldn't say pleasantly surprised, I've seen, Public Works, like out, doing stuff I hadn't seen in quite a while, cause it was, Daniel outside my house, I heard a weed eater and I was like, what is going on? One didn't tell me he was gonna weed eat, you know? And it was Public Works. And then I saw down on the median here, and then down on, El Paso. So, yeah, so good job. It's nice. I was like, we've got enough staff that were out there to do that. And then something I forgot to mention at the last meeting, so thank you, of course, staff and all staff. Forgot to mention the last meeting, and since then, had another conversation, over after the holidays, shortly after, I met mother and daughter out on the plaza from Scottsdale, and then had a subsequent conversation with my vet, who moved here in 1994 and was originally from Boston. And both the mother and daughter from Scottsdale and my vet, it was so heartwarming. The mother-daughter come down during the holidays just to be in Mesilla because, and they mentioned specifically the historic preservation and how it's a hidden gem and how we've managed all these years to keep it Mesilla. And so we had a conversation, and the same with my vet. She goes, I take my grandson down here and we come here and it's like we're in vacation, some other location. And then she showed me a picture of her and her grandson, and it looked like they were somewhere exotic. Like, I was like, oh, where'd you go? And it was at Pepper's. And she said, that's why we come here, because it's like we take a step in time. And she reinforced and just made me realize too how important that, this as a board, that we're so concerned and that we want to continue preserving our community. And it just was so impactful, just those two conversations within weeks of each other. So I just wanted to finally bring that up because it was also very positive and made me realize why we are up here, why we do what we do. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for sharing, Mayor Pro Tem. I think we do have an amazing community, beautiful people, great staff all around, and I always say that, but it's true. We have amazingness everywhere, and we are lucky for our community. With that in note, I do want to say from our last meeting, it was asked about having an additional posting location. The Pavement Center has approved for us to have that as an additional posting location. So we will put that there and have that noted on the agendas moving forward. And then we will also still be reviewing the potential of a public board somewhere within the Mesilla Park community to actually have it more visible to residents who might not be going to the Pavement Center themselves. The Colonias application is officially open right now. So in the next meeting, we will have the couple of resolutions for those applications. As I had mentioned, for the water well and water tank, not water well, because the water well will be replaced here soon through Colonias funding that we did receive. And then the water tank will be a part of the application process, as well as fire hydrants again there to see what we can do. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have our budget season where we are kicking that off. So in the next meeting, there'll be a discussion for the budget schedule and planning and kind of the timeline that you can expect for us over the next 4 or 5 months to get the budget for our next fiscal year reviewed, approved, and moving forward. So be having those conversations with the community, especially for capital projects, and also with your departments and as a liaison on what they can utilize to help them succeed even more. And I appreciate those conversations. I do want to note that, as it was mentioned, that Lorenzo mentioned earlier, the cameras and card readers or door openers at the community center are going in as we speak. In addition to that, if you recall estimate as it was done, it also will include large screen TVs that will be going into the dining room for those guests that are dining, as well as large screen TVs that will be going into the auditorium for presentations within the auditorium. So that will also be available with a Roku for our guests or for our residents to have that as well, where we don't have screens or sometimes have that little screen that's hard to see in there. So we will have that infrastructure going into the community center. In addition to, we will also, once they finish there, they will move over to this building, and we will be getting security upgraded within this building that includes the card readers and cameras as well in here. So that will cover all of our buildings with increased security all the way around. I also want to note that tomorrow in particular, I didn't get the notice out online in time, but I will say it now. We are going to start, myself, the Public Works team, or few members of the Public Works team, because everybody has a busy schedule regardless, and a couple members of the Mesilla Valley Garden Society will be joining us at the community center tomorrow morning to start putting together the raised beds that we have and start getting the community garden started at the community center on the east side of the community center in the near and around that area that used to be the playground used to be. So that'll start going in, and you'll start seeing a little bit of movement there, and we'll be working with the Garden Society as such to help with more future planning and potential with that. And they'll also mention that they'll be a big part of that project and helping out. But if anybody's free tomorrow between 8 and 2, I think I said, even though we'll probably be working on it a little earlier, but if you're free, I'll have coffee and donuts one way or the other to come in. If nothing else, just come and grab a cup of coffee, on your way to work, and a donut, or come afterwards or during lunch just to see what's happening, so it should be a good time. We do have a meeting as well tomorrow with with an engineer, or with our town engineer, to review asset management and look at submitting another round for I forget what they call level 2 for asset management, where we have an asset management plan that's on the first stage, but now it'll be the second stage of asset management that we'll be looking at getting increased funding for, as well as increased planning for that. That asset management plan, when we work on it, comes in 3 different stages. We can only apply for that funding every 3 years, specifically for the asset management planning. So we will be having that meeting tomorrow. We will also be meeting with the architect a little bit later this week for this building, for the planning and design, to kind of get that ball rolling with the initial, and then we'll open up the full public process and get all of that posted for this building in particular, with the additions that we have where we have received partial funding for the cultural side already happened. If you recall, that federal funding that we have received, and then that is other funding that we are going after in this upcoming session for capital outlay potential and backfilling from other grant opportunities to see if we can get this full project fully funded and completed. That's our goal. And session is underway. Doña Ana County did Las Cruces Chamber did their Doña Ana County days this past weekend. And I wasn't able to attend, but I heard that it was a great success. We will be going up for municipal days. That is next week. And then I do have a couple of cohort meetings with DOT meetings with the a couple of cabinet secretaries, as well as meetings with the municipal league as a director while I'm up in Santa Fe. So hoping that this will be my only trip to Santa Fe. Still trying to get that meeting with the governor. So if it's on the days when trustees you are there, then we'll attack that together. So sound good? If you're interested, that is. So, all right. And with that, that's all I really have per se. I know it's a lot, but time is 8:39, and if there is no objection, I will call this meeting as adjourned. Great, thank you.